Hello. Welcome back to Healing Souls. We're testing out new software and new cameras today, so if my eyes are everywhere, maybe it's because I'm not quite sure where I'm supposed to be looking today. So bear with me. Okay. Today's topic is the power of today. Slightly related to the power of now, but the power of today is what I want to talk about. Stop and think for a moment. Today, right this moment, wherever you are, right now is a moment that will never again be repeated. Right this second is something that will never happen again. One day, one moment can be life-changing. And I'm not talking about fate or anything like that. I'm not talking about an accident. I'm talking about the power of choice. And choice happens today. Choice happens now. In fact, everything that happens today, in your day today, is a product of the past. For example, my husband says last night, "What are you going to do tomorrow?" And I say, "I'm going to record a video." And I am sitting here right now recording this video because it's a product of last night. In fact, this whole week of videos that you've watched is a product of about a week ago when I said, you know what? I'm going to set a personal goal. I'm going to do a video a day for the next 30 days. So all of these videos were a product of that one thought. The past then creates the future. And every moment that you're living in is a product of something that you thought either this morning or the day before or the day before. So we're talking about today. So why is today, why is right now so important? It's because today will be the past, and tomorrow will be the future. Is that confusing enough? Basically, the point is today is important because what you choose to do right now will determine your tomorrow, will determine your future. This only becomes problematic when we leave the mind on autopilot. It's estimated that every day we think between 60 to 70,000 thoughts, and 90% of those thoughts are a repeat of the day before. We only have about 10% original thinking per day. So that means, 50 to 60,000 of our thoughts are creating the future because those are just on repeat of the day before and the day before and the day before. And so when we wake up tired, just like the day before, or we didn't sleep well, just like we haven't been sleeping well, we are literally recreating these patterns over and over again, like a real life Groundhog Day, over and over again. Maybe there's a few different details, but for the most part, these thoughts are projecting into the future. They're projecting into the future, and we're creating the future with all of these thoughts that are on autopilot. That is scary. That's kind of scary. We're with all of these thoughts on autopilot. How do we then take control and create the future that we want? The key to creating the future we want is today. It's right now. Because the past no longer exists. We can't change the past. In order to create a new future, it starts today. Yet the majority of us, think about how much time we live in the past. We're thinking about past traumas. We're time traveling 20, 30, 40 years ago. And as we think that, the brain doesn't understand the difference between remembering something and rehearsing something for the future. As we're remembering those past memories, it literally creates the same chemical reaction today as it did 20 or 30 or 40 years ago. And that then becomes the signal that repeats it in the future. Every time I'm gonna repeat this because I think it's super important to understand that every time we relive something from the past, it anchors our body into that memory. It creates the same chemical response. It creates the same emotional response. When I'm working with somebody with trauma and we're working on recoding a memory, they'll often cry, they'll feel the anger. Their body cannot tell the difference between the memory and the now. Living in the past is actually teaching us that that's reality in the present, because our brain can't tell the difference between a memory that we're reliving. It's in the brain's mind. All it's doing is rehearsing. You know what? I'm going to read to you a study about this power of rehearsing in our mind, why this is so important. I'm going to read this from the National Institute of Health. I was reading this morning. What they were studying was the power of visualizations. So they had three groups. They had the control group, which they were working on strength. They were testing physical strength. So they had one test group did the physical exercises with no mental exercises. Then they had a group that just did visualizations, internal visualizations. And then they had a third group that did external visualizations, like videos and that kind of thing. The group that did just the physical movements showed a 2% improvement in 7 days. The group that did the mental rehearsing of the exercises, engaging all of the senses, the ones that mentally rehearsed that, showed a 20.5% improvement. Internally rehearsing it. The group that did the external rehearsing showed a 10% improvement. The images that we are playing over in our mind are a rehearsal for the future. So what are we rehearsing? Are we rehearsing past failures? Or are we using this power to sculpt and create the future? Because the brain can't tell the difference. The brain can't tell the difference between doubts from the past and dreaming of the future. If it can't tell the difference between worry and wondering. And this is a power that we harness now. This is a power that we harness in the today. So then people will often say, well, let's talk about reality then. Let's be realistic. Maybe you're one of those people that wants to do the cause and effect. Well, if I do this, then this is going to happen. If I do this, then my partner's going to leave me. If I do this, then my child, my daughter's going to stop talking to me. If I do this, I'm going to XYZ. I'll be homeless. I'll lose my job, whatever, right? You call it being realistic. Your brain calls it a crisis. Your brain is calling it survival. And nothing's even happened. Yet we're doing this mental rehearsal of what if, what if, what if, what if, most of the time because of fear and because of wanting to stay safe. But here's the thing. If somebody doesn't have a knife at your throat right this second, if there's not a lion that's about ready to jump on you and rip out your throat, you are safe today, now, right in this moment. You are safe. These thoughts hijack our system. They hijack our body. They hijack our future. And nothing's even happened. Safety, I will say, safety is an illusion. Or maybe I can rephrase that to saying, trying to predict safety in the future based off of the past is an illusion. It's not real. Trying to stay safe, fear, that's why people are stuck. Because the brain is saying, you'll be safe if you stay hidden, if you stay small, if you stay quiet, like that little rabbit that's hiding underneath the tree from a hawk, except we're not rabbits. We're not rabbits. We have this amazing capability to create our future. But what happens is our brain is on autopilot. Those 60 to 70,000 thoughts that we have a day that are repeats of the day before, such a small portion, only 10% of our thoughts are unique. The rest is just on autopilot. Our brain needs a commander. Because when it's just on autopilot, it just goes safety, 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 safe, fear, 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 fear. And with this ability of mental rehearsal, when it's left to its own devices, it stays stuck in survival mode, and we end up creating a life that is barely surviving. And even though you are alive today, you're not dead. That means that every fear and every worry and every stress that you have had up until this moment was actually kind of useless. It was a rehearsal of uselessness. Because right this moment, you are here, you are with me, you are here today. So why is today so important? It's because today you can choose to become the commander of your thoughts. Today, you can choose what I'm thinking right now is going to decide what I eat tonight, what I eat tomorrow, except you can do it on a bigger scale. You can do it on a scale of the life that you want to create. As your brain sees this pattern of what you're visualizing, it creates that chemical reaction for it too. It creates those hormones, it creates those proteins, it creates those emotions, and that's what propels you towards the future instead of being a prisoner of the past. Okay, I'm trying to keep these videos kind of short because I know everybody's super busy. So the next video, we're going to be talking about how to harness this ability, how to create the future and stop the past from repeating itself, and how we can stop living in the past. Okay, don't forget to like and subscribe, leave me comments. I love reading the comments because that lets me know I'm on the right track. Please feel free to share this video, and I'll talk to you tomorrow because I thought of that yesterday and today. Okay, talk to you soon.